We're at Brouwer berries.
The strawberries. You can't beat the strawberries. They're so sweet.
It tastes fantastic.
Every single one of them. They're sweet and red and unbeatable.
They're amazing, and there's so many out there.
It was such a blast here.
We are a strawberry farm where families can come and pick their own strawberries, or if they don't have time, we'll pick it for them and they can just buy them off the shelf. I am not a farmer at all. I am from Canada, and we got married back in 1994, and I moved to the United States, and it was a complete switch for me living in this tiny little town a couple hours south of where we are now. And I would take my husband back to Canada to visit my family in Canada, and one summer we took him strawberry picking because that's just what I had grown up doing. And he looked at that farm and he looked around and he thought, this is something I can do. There's nothing like this where I'm from in Minnesota. And so he talked with his mom and decided that he and his mom would start a strawberry farm. He came home one day and he said to me, I bought some strawberry plants. And I said, well, how many? And he said, 1,500. And I looked at him and I said, what for? And he said, we're starting a strawberry farm at my parents' house. We've been running this strawberry farm for 21 years now.
To grow something from nothing. It's a passion in me that enjoys doing that part of it. I've always enjoyed being on a farm. That's always been my passion. It's what I went back to school for. I was hoping to be a dairy farmer and realized it was, with a new family, it was impractical. So went back to school, got a carpentry degree and did that, and found a way to get back into farming through strawberries.
We figure if you're going to get strawberries, you should also have fun on the farm. And so we've set up our animals just around the farm that people can play with. There's bunnies. The kids love to go in the cage with the bunnies and play with them. Some years we have chicks. We have goats and a horse and lots of sheep. People love to see the animals, interact with them. We've also set up a rye maze where pretty much the adults sit down in the shade because they're tired, and the kids run off their energy through the rye maze and just enjoy themselves, just being outside. We feel like a lot of people in this area have a farm background, but they don't have opportunities to be on a farm anymore because the grandparents have moved off the farm. A lot of farms have gotten so big that kids don't have a connection to those farms anymore. And so this has become a really tangible way for families to show kids this is something that's growing and you have to pick it when it's ripe. It's your job as the farmer right now. You're harvesting strawberries. And I love giving that opportunity to families.
I grow the strawberries and Sara sells the strawberries. After this past year, realizing with all the COVID and everything that's gone on, I think we've always had a desire for people to know where your food comes from, where your heritage comes from. And over this past year, I think people have a better understanding or want a better understanding of where their food comes from, realizing how difficult it is getting from farm to the table.
Putting my kids on the farm is the biggest blessing of this entire experience. I've seen each of my kids, who are so different, shine in different areas on the farm.
People who help me around the farm is mostly family. We have some Karen workers who will come and pick for us.
I have been working for Brouwers for 4 years now. This is my 4th year and I've been working since then. My mom is here, also my brother and some of my friends. We came from Thailand/Burma. You get to see a lot of different type of berries when you're here, because before I worked on the berry farm, I didn't really know there was like different type of strawberries. And then working with Sara, she's really nice and her family's really welcoming.
One of my sisters will just stay at the front desk helping out you pickers, and then my other sister usually does things that I do, which is just helping people, telling them where to go.
Working on the farm with our family is crazy during the 3 weeks of strawberry season, because we get 10,000, 11,000 people through in 3 weeks. Personally, I'm out in the field most of the day, just telling people where to go, leading people.
I'm always working at the front desk up there, so I'm managing people flow. So then the people come to me, I do all the transactions, and then I also direct them where to go out to the field. And then obviously when we're off season, it's a lot of going out to the field. Like every single one of these rows have to get weeded, and that's a lot of work. So that's basically what it's like. It pays for college, that's what we like most. We just kind of understand each other and how we work. So I'm the more social one, she's the one that hates people, and I'm like, I hate people, I'm just an introvert. She's an introvert, so she has her social like max, and so I see that she's crashing, I'm like, all right, Heidi, just go take your break.
I like working on the farm because it's fun, and I get to do fly swatting and some pretty fun stuff.
We try to keep him busy.
Yeah, he doesn't do very much.
Yeah.
Fly swatting, I go around on rollerblades, roll around, and then fly swatting if I see any flies. I like strawberries because they're tasty, sweet, and sour.
Growing strawberries has taught me that nothing comes easy, that it's all hard work. People might see the customers flowing in and just think, wow, you've got it easy. You just have the customers flow in and they pick the strawberries and they give you money. But the 5 years of preparation to get that berry is like nothing I've ever seen. And it's taught me to handle risk differently and to see the weather differently.
Starting off in the spring, it's always a joy. It's something you look forward to every spring when everything gets started and get on, and it's always a joy to put everything to bed in the fall and to be done and just have a rest and get through winter and start all over in the spring again.
I think the best part about having a farm is the people that I meet. We have, give or take, 10,000 people that come to our farm, and yet I know a lot of them. I know their faces and they tell me their stories. And that's what keeps us going on the hard days with strawberry farming, is remembering the people and how this reminds them of their stories and connects them to their past.
Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies, Mark and Margaret Yakel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota. On the web at shalomhillfarm.org. Alexandria, Minnesota, a year-round destination with hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for memorable vacations and events. More information at explorealex.com. The Lake Region Arts Council's Arts Calendar.